What's up, guys? Randall Rutledge here, and I wanted to give you kind of a sneak peek on how I set up health insurance and just kind of my overall philosophy. Obviously, we all have different wants, different needs. I'm just going to kind of show you how I set up my own personal coverage, and it might help you when you're looking through your options. So, the first thing we want to talk about is our network. When we're talking about insurance, this is going to be the most important part of any insurance plan. And the reason is you can have the best plan in the world down here, but if nobody accepts it, it's not going to do you a bit of good. It's just a bunch of numbers on a piece of paper. So this is the most important part. You want to have a PPO network. That way you can get to any doctor, any facility in the country. And obviously not all PPO networks are made equally. You want one through a major carrier. That way you can go to any doctor, any facility. You don't have somebody telling you where you can and cannot go. You don't have to worry about going on vacation and ended up with large medical bills due to being out of network. So that's going to be the first thing you want to address. From there, when setting up the coverage, obviously there's an inverse relationship between your deductible and your monthly premium. The lower that deductible is, the higher that monthly premium is. Obviously, nobody likes to spend a lot of money on their health insurance, but we also don't want to be vulnerable if something does happen. So I'm going to kind of show you my philosophy on how I set it up, where I think it's kind of the best value for your dollar. So as far as deductible, every plan's a little bit different. Lots of insurance companies offer different options. So I'm just going to kind of give you a generic deductible that I see very often, and that's going to be somewhere around $5,000. Okay. Next part is your co-insurance, which is going to be the percentage that the insurance company pays after your deductible is met. Lots of different options, 80-20, 70-30, so on and so forth. For this example, we're going to do an 80-20, which simply means that once this deductible is met, insurance company is covering 80%, and we're responsible for 20% up to our out-of-pocket max. And in this case, we're just going to keep the math simple. We're going to do a $2,000 out-of-pocket max, okay? Now, in a year, essentially my worst case scenario would be my deductible plus my out-of-pocket max, in this case $2,000, which mean a total worst case scenario of $7,000. Not sure if you can see that down there. There you go. So obviously $7K, not going to bankrupt me, not going to do anything crazy. As long as I get to go everywhere I need to go, and the plan keeps me from going bankrupt, that's all you really need with health insurance. There's a lot of other little bells and whistles that kind of make the deal a little bit better, but in reality, this is all we need. We need to get our treatment that we need, and we don't want to lose everything we have in the process. Obviously, $7,000 isn't going to bankrupt anybody, but it's still quite a bit of money to try to come up with. And so the strategy that I employ is to add in supplemental benefits to my plan to help me actually cover these deductibles and co-insurances here. And I try to do this in three main categories that I'm most likely to get a large medical bill. For me, pretty young, pretty healthy, don't have any health conditions or prescriptions, so an accident is going to be the most likely way that I end up with a large medical bill. So that's an area that I want to carry a supplemental benefit. Now, supplemental benefits can be added to most health insurance plans. Sometimes they can be bought separately. There's a lot of ways you can do this, but essentially I want to have some accidental coverage that is more than enough to cover my $7,000 exposure, and I'm going to kind of couple that with my health insurance plan. The next place is going to be a critical illness. Nobody likes to talk about these things, but heart attacks, strokes, life-threatening cancers, somebody gets paralyzed, something crazy happens, each critical illness policy is going to have its own specific things that it covers and pays out towards. So you're going to want to read through that and find out what your plan does. But I have a critical illness benefit that if I was ever diagnosed with anything on their list, essentially they have a lump sum cash benefit that'd be paid directly to me in that event. And it is a tax-free because it's an insurance benefit. And I can use that money once again to cover my out-of-pocket costs. I also have mine set up to actually pay me out more than my financial exposure, because if I do have a critical illness, I'm probably not working, I'm not making money, I still have bills that need to get paid. Most people know that the number one reason for bankruptcy in America right now is medical bills. What most people don't know is most of those people actually had health insurance. The problem was that they were out of work. They had to come up with $7,000 or $10,000. they have a mortgage, a car, other insurances. It wasn't just the medical bills that took them under. It was just kind of the whole landscape. And so I'm protected a little extra right there to make sure not only do I have enough money to cover my medical bills, but also my personal bills as well. And if you don't have something like that on your plan, I would definitely ask your agent, your HR department, whoever does your coverage, to see if this is something that you can kind of build into your plan. They're relatively inexpensive, they're pretty affordable, and they can do a lot for you if something bad does happen. The third scenario is hospitalizations. Obviously, one of the most expensive things in medical billing is that rent that they charge you just to stay in the hospital. Medical bills can get through the roof very quickly. Obviously, you have your deductible and your co-insurance to protect you from going bankrupt. But same thing, if I'm in a hospital bed, I'm not working, I'm not making money, I don't want to have to go, pull $7,000 out of my savings. It's much more beneficial to me if I have something set up that's going to help cover these deductibles and help cover my personal finances while I'm going through this time. So, these are the three areas that I personally supplement my plan to help cover those deductibles and personal bills as well. This allows me to even raise these numbers up a little bit and lower my monthly premium, but still feel comfortable that if something does happen, I'm not going to be left with a huge medical bill because of my supplemental benefits. Okay. So, this is the main strategy that I use for myself. It's the main strategy that I use for all of my clients. It's essentially what I'm going to recommend to you. If you do reach out to me in any way, you're going to see the same thing when you come talk to me. But if you have any questions about this whatsoever, or maybe you just have a question about your health insurance, maybe you don't understand a word on this whole board, that'd probably be a good reason to reach out to me. And the best way to get a hold of me is through my calendar link right here. Obviously, I'm only one person. I only have one phone. If 100 people call me at one time, very difficult for me to sort through that and help all those people. The best way is to actually book a call. That sets a time aside for me and you both to sit down, discuss your wants, your needs, and come up with a strategy that might be able to help you save some money. You may be able to get better coverage. I talk to people every day that they're just in the wrong plan for their situation. And just talking with an agent that can kind of identify that and say, hey, you don't need to be right here. You actually need to move over here. This is going to be a better fit for you. I do all of those things for free. I don't charge a dime for my time. So if you need something, even if it's a quick question, I would appreciate it. Book a call on my calendar. I will drop the link somewhere in this post, maybe up in the comment section where you can get to it. But book a call. It'll only take us about 5-10 minutes to kind of assess your situation and then for me to give you that advice. Obviously, if I have an insurance product that may be able to help you at that point in time, I will show you that and you can decide if it's going to be best for your family. But either way, I'd love to hear from you, love to talk with you. If you need anything at all, please book a call with me.